Welcome to day 303 of our DeSo journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein here with my twin brother Brian. And remember, these videos are being sponsored by NFT Tech, an investor in CloutFeed. And yesterday was a huge day, lots of stuff happening, some stuff happening when it wasn't supposed to, other things happening that were kind of a surprise.
Yeah, it was a hectic day. I'll admit that I didn't have a lot of availability yesterday. So I was kind of jumping in and out of Discords, trying to follow everything. It was a lot to follow. A lot of information was being distributed. But yeah, let's get into it.
And so the 2.0.0 fork, which was supposed to go into effect tomorrow on Monday, January 24th, went into effect early because of a bug, according to Maybeam. So a bug caused a small piece of the code to trigger before it was supposed to. And then it kind of like confused a lot of developers. Some developers were upset because they had to work on the weekend and do a bunch of things that they weren't expecting to do on a Saturday when they were preparing to do it on Monday. So there's a lot of confusion going on, a lot of people a little bit disturbed about what took place. It was an accident, it was a bug. I don't think nobody did this on purpose. It just happens, and it happens in blockchain technology sometimes. Nader came out and he said the issue was that a small piece of code triggered before the hard fork height. So, and he also said the vast majority of code, including the new features, won't be available until Monday. And that's of course tomorrow.
Right. And I think a lot of it got some people like up in arms, or like all like getting upset about it. But I can see where some people are coming from if you've been working on a project and it kind of screwed you up. But I think you've got to, as a developer, kind of expect the unexpected. Like I just got to remind everybody that we're like 10 or 11 months into things right now, if even, and it's so early. I think you just got to be a little bit more relaxed. I know that's hard to say if you're working on a project and you just saw something, a code change like screwed everything up. But I think you just got to, everybody needs to relax and just let things happen. I think the next month or two, there's going to be a lot of change for the better, I think. And there's going to be some hiccups along the way though.
Yeah, and so this fork, it should initiate on Monday. It's going to initiate on Monday. Some of the features might not be available on nodes until maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on how things go. We'll have to wait and see, but we should be expecting some updates coming. Like there's a lot of debate like on how things should be done on DeSo and the blockchain. Like is Nader making the right choices? Is the core team making the right choices? And there is a 100% right way to do this, but the problem is nobody knows what that right way is, because it's never been done before. So, there's a lot of speculation. Oh, this could be done better. This should have been done first. This should be way down the line. This shouldn't be done at all. But in reality, nobody knows what the right answer is in order to get us to the destination that we all want to be at. So I think we have to keep that in mind.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Apple making the iPhone before there were any touchscreen phones out there. And they screwed things up. They didn't get everything perfect. But ultimately, they adjusted and they became the top selling smartphone company in the world. So I think that people need to relax. Like I said, there's no precedence for how this is supposed to be done. Of course, there is no other blockchain built just for social out there. There's nothing like this where you have this identity that's on a blockchain like this. So I think it's just a learning experience for everybody, including the core team, including Nader, including all of us.
Yeah, and we always use it. I like using Ethereum as an example. In 2016, there was some sort of, I don't know all the details, but there's some sort of DAO that was created, and it caused all these people to lose their money. So Ethereum decided to make a hard fork to bring that money back to those people. So this happens, like bugs happen, errors happen, mistakes are going to be made, and they will continue to be made. And our hindsight's always 2020. We can always look back and say, oh, that shouldn't have taken place. There's always, with every blockchain, there's instances like that, including Ethereum, Bitcoin, and everything.
I actually remember back in 2016, 2017, when that Ethereum hard fork took place, and all the critics were like, this is done. Ethereum's done. You can't just go back and do a hard fork because money was stolen or whatever happened. And look where we are now. Ethereum has a massive market cap. Coin price is $2,500. It's probably the second most used blockchain in the world. I mean, it could, transaction wise, I think it's probably the most used blockchain in the world. So like I said, relax, let things play out, let the core team do their thing until we get things more decentralized. And I think ultimately we'll all look back at this and laugh and say, remember this, remember how down people were that week.
Hopefully that's how things unfold in the future. So also yesterday, then this was a major surprise. Meghan Vita left DeSo, left the DeSo Foundation, left core, or I guess the DeSo Foundation. There was lots of drama on the DeSo Foundation Discord, lots of rumors and speculation being spread. I had the chance to talk to Meghan last night. She was very upbeat and actually in a really good mood. She said she'll definitely miss DeSo, working for DeSo and the foundation. She says so she's going to miss the community and it's full of such great people. She also said she's happy now to be part of the DeSo community. So now she's part of us. She's with us. She's part of the community. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see if she remains active within the community. Hopefully she does. She said she really enjoyed working with the Octane Fund teams, and she expects Liam, who's also on the Octane Fund team or within the DeSo Foundation, to step up and lead the Octane Fund initiatives. She said he's a great guy who's really smart and into DAOs and NFTs. So she was in a good mood. We don't know the exact reasons publicly why she left, what the reasonings were. I suspect that will come out over time. But I think that's another reason people are a little bit in a bad mood, because Meghan was awesome. Like the people who have had a chance to meet Meghan, have meetings with her, communicate with her, knew that she was really working hard to kind of help fix some of the issues that have been taking place in the community, some of the lack of I guess communication. She kind of was a band-aid for that.
Yeah, Megan, I mean, all of our experiences with Megan were great. She pointed out that she wasn't fired. This wasn't like, I know there's a lot of rumors that were circulating in that Discord chat yesterday, but I think people need to like step back and don't speculate on things if they don't know what they're talking about. It seems like it was a split that was amicable. Like I think both sides
You're speculating, Brian. You're speculating.
Well, yeah, I am speculating a little bit, but from everything I see, it seems like both sides aren't mad at each other. Maybe, of course, more happened behind the scenes that we don't know, but I think that there's going to be people that come and go, and with all projects, with all companies, there's people that might be here for a purpose, might do something, and then leave shortly after, and they got the job done, and you're gonna have other people come in, fill their shoes, and take things in a different direction, or maybe the same direction. So I think that ultimately, I don't think this is a super negative event. But I can see, like, with the coin price being way down, with Meghan leaving, I can see why some people are in a pessimistic mindset, I guess you could say.
Yeah. So yesterday, Tyne discovered, through examining some of the code and some of the new 2.0.0 fork, some new notifications for NFTs are coming, and I'm pretty excited about these. There's going to be third-party sale notifications. So when somebody that owns your NFT puts it on sale, you're going to get a notification that it's now on sale. I think that's a really cool notification. I think creators of NFTs, artists, are going to be interested to know when their NFTs are going back up on the secondary market. There's going to be coin holder royalty notifications. So when somebody does this coin holder split, a coin holder royalty, or just a royalty in general, I assume, if they're splitting the royalty, you're going to get an NFT coin holder royalty notification. It's going to tell you about the split. It's going to say something along the lines of Tyne minted an NFT and gave a royalty of 10% to your creator coin. So I think that's awesome. People can know that they're getting a royalty on an NFT that was minted. And then NFT sale notifications are being improved. An example there is Tyne bought serial number 1 for 0.01 DeSo, $4.22 of a certain NFT. That's
Yeah,
great.
this is actually like this is what has me so excited about NFTs on DeSo. I mean, obviously the NFT market on DeSo is very slow right now. Secondary market's slow as well, but there's no other blockchain out there. Obviously, Ethereum's the major one, but there's no other blockchain that has these notifications. So if you were to sell an NFT on Ethereum and then somebody else that bought that NFT wanted to resell it, you're not going to know that that's up for resale unless you go and like sort through everything and check out where everything's at. So like this is very powerful. I think that these are features that people native to Ethereum and Solana have been waiting for from their chains, and DeSo is well ahead of the curve. DeSo is, in my opinion, the best blockchain for NFTs out there right now. And I say that from a technology standpoint, obviously not a marketplace standpoint, because there is the marketplace is very meager right now in terms of buys and sells. But I think with this hard fork, when you get buy it now, you get these coin splits, you have all these new notifications. I think there's going to be some powerful things happening. I think there's going to be some pretty big projects coming on board. And I think there's going to be some, I think people are going to start hearing about DeSo as an NFT platform rather than just DeSo, the social blockchain.
Yeah, definitely. So yesterday, Brutal wanted to make sure that people knew that his super wallet that he's creating is not a joke. So a few days ago, I don't remember exactly how many days ago, we mentioned Brutal's super wallet that he's creating. But at the time he said, we're not sure if it's a joke or he's really creating it, because Brutal, being Brutal, does some weird things sometimes. But he did make a post yesterday saying it's not a joke, and he showed a screenshot. It's a super wallet that's going to make it easier to do mass coin transfers and mass sales. And it's running on the Love for SRC node.
Yeah, I love this. I love that there's people developing wallets like this, and these are features that we need. And Brutal has been there. He's been developing on the chain, and way to go. And I'm sorry we doubted you, Brutal.
I'm not really sorry, but we did doubt you. So Mubs yesterday, he made a simple dashboard that shows all DeSo activity. You wanted to talk about that, Brian?
Yeah, so this is just a private dashboard he made for himself. He didn't say if he's going to roll it out for everybody or not. He hasn't decided on that, I don't think. But basically, you're getting updates from DeSo about coding changes and everything from GitHub. But you also have DeSo and Natter posting on Twitter and on DeSo with updates about what's happening. So what he did is he combined all these feeds, the GitHub changes, the Twitter and DeSo updates from various accounts, Natter, I guess, Lazy Nina, Maybeam, and the DeSo account, and he combined them all into one dashboard so you can see a stream of all the updates. And I think it's brilliant. And like, I know that I don't check GitHub all that much, and I don't check Twitter all that much. I check DeSo mainly. So like to have this, I would love to see it go public so that everybody can kind of follow along. I think it's a powerful tool for people developing on the blockchain, as well as just trying to follow along with what's happening news-wise.
Yeah, definitely. I love what Mubs is doing. He's constantly developing new things.
Yeah, so Mubs, if you want to share that, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, for sure. So yesterday, I guess it was this morning, probably maybe an hour ago, Salil Sethi of Open Prosper made a post showing that in the last 24 hours, there are only 59,937 transactions on the DeSo blockchain. And he said that this is the lowest he's seen it. He's never seen it dip below 60,000 before. So super low transactions, which means super low activity on DeSo in the last 24 hours. I mean, I think, it's discouraging to see, but at the same time, I think there's a lot that goes into this equation, including the new hard fork, including the somber mood that's kind of been hanging over DeSo this weekend because of the messed up hard fork, because of Meghan Vita leaving, because of the DeSo price falling all the way down to $41. I think the crypto market in general, the collapse in the crypto market in general kind of has people in a bad mood. I think this is all happening at once. All this kind of happened this weekend. So I think people are just in a somber mood in general on DeSo, and maybe they're just kind of taking a break. They need to this crypto stuff's really irritating us. I just need you to like think of something else. This hard fork, put so much work on my shoulders as a developer. I just need to take a break. So I think, I think that's playing a huge role in that. But I think, I think this cloud's going to move out of the way this coming week, beginning this week, and then moving forward. I think there's a lot to be excited about on DeSo.
Yeah, I mean, the transactions falling under 60,000, I think that's big. I think it's important to take note of. It is a weekend. Weekends are usually a lot slower on DeSo. And like you said, there's been a lot of like, not bad news, but not so good news, especially the crypto market. I think whenever you see the crypto market like crash as it did, I mean, we're down about 50% from highs. I think you're going to get people trying to shift blame maybe for their investment decisions towards others. You see that with Bitcoin all the time. You see it in this with Ethereum. I'm not saying people in DeSo are just not posting because of the price being down, but I think it discourages people. I guarantee you that if the price was going the other direction and we are at $150 suddenly, I think there'd be this inflow of activity. But it's definitely a concern. I mean, we should be trending up in transaction volume, not down. But we do have a lot of changes coming over the course of the next few weeks. I think we're going to see a lot of new changes on various nodes that we're going to see some, I know NFTZ, we're going to roll out some massive changes pretty soon. So I think the combination of that's going to get people back excited again. But when DeSo is trading at $40, I think there's going to be a lot of pessimism out there. Whether we're going to see it spike back up or not anytime soon, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. You need daily active users to increase so people want to buy DeSo. And when you've seen the number of daily active users going down or like just trending steadily, you're not going to have that demand. But overall, I think that we got to look, like I always say, look towards the technology, not towards the price. I'm so optimistic. I'm more optimistic now than I have been probably ever, maybe besides that first month when we signed up. But I'm more optimistic now than pretty much any time ever. And that's regardless of the price. I think if DeSo was trading at $10, I would still be optimistic about the technology. I'd be upset that my DeSo holdings are the values down substantially. But overall, I think if you look out a year or two down the line, as long as things go as planned and the way, and I think as long as you keep seeing people developing and more developers coming on board, I think overall it's an uptrend.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see Salil and Open Prosper make some sort of graph overlay showing the price of DeSo overlaid on top of daily active users and see how they relate to each other. And it might be kind of like the chicken or the egg. Maybe the price of DeSo means more people get active on the platform, but also maybe as more people become active on the platform, it causes the price to go up. But I'd like to see that. And maybe one's a lagging indicator, maybe one's a leading indicator. It'd be interesting to see how they follow each other. So Salil, if you're listening, that'd be a pretty cool graph to see.
Yeah, and I think like my closing statement for this show today is just keep your head up. If you're developing, just keep moving forward. These slow times are actually blessings for developers because they can concentrate solely on what they're developing. There's little competition at this time, so you can actually get ahead of the game. And I think if you're a user on DeSo, don't pay so much attention to the price. I know a lot of people invested a lot of money, so it's hard to say that, I guess, but keep looking towards the next like several months ahead. Don't be impatient. I think that's probably the main thing that we're seeing here is people being impatient and expecting things to happen overnight. I think that everybody set their expectations a little bit too high for how fast things are going to develop. And that's us too. And maybe we're responsible for some of those over optimistic expectations. But I think if you look down the road and you remain patient, you let things fall into place, things happen, and you continue to build and do what you're doing, regardless of the price, I think ultimately it should work out.
And there's a lot of great apps in the works, Story, and I know Manish is working with Real Simple Labs, is working on a really cool project. There's just so many cool projects that have been funded by the Octane Fund, but there's also projects outside the Octane Fund, such as Gem, which I think a lot of people are excited for. And we have to remember, the Octane Fund started with $50 million. They've only spent approximately 11 million of that so far. So there's still almost 5 times that to be spent on development on this platform. So there's a lot to be optimistic for. I think over the next several days with this hard fork, and then several weeks after that, we're going to see a lot of stuff happen, whether it be new apps or apps making great changes. I think there's a lot we're going to see. And, I don't think Diamond app is going to be, people who sign up to Story or sign up to these other apps might not even ever become aware of Diamond app. So we're living in the Diamond app world right now where everything centers around Diamond app. But I think in the future, there's going to be different niches that center around different apps. Like the Instagram crowd might go to Story or Gem, whereas like the Twitter crowd would be more inclined to come to Diamond app. But there's so much out there. There's so much that's being built. And I think as like the Octane Fund moves forward and gives more money, and as these hackathons go on, I think we're going to see a ton of development on DeSo. So,
and you mentioned there's like $39 million left in the Octane Fund. There's also approximately $150 million left in the DeSo Foundation away from the Octane Fund that they're going to use to continue to expand market and whatever else they're going to do with that funding higher and whatnot. So I think that it's just so early. They barely touched their budget. They barely touched their capital that they brought in back in early last year and in the year prior. So just stick with it and just
that's a good point. That's a good point because the Octane Fund's meant to invest into these companies, but that doesn't mean the DeSo Foundation can't help these companies market. Like Story, like they get a grant or they get equity funding, but I think the way that DeSo really grows is if these individual apps are marketed heavily toward their niche markets. So the DeSo Foundation could say, okay, we want to take $1 million and push Story to the Instagram crowd and just advertise Story to the Instagram crowd. No mention of Diamond app, no mention of DeSo, just advertise Story as its own app. And when people sign up, they're coming into the DeSo ecosystem. But anyhow, I think we ran it on long enough today. So I think we'll close out there and everybody have a great weekend. We'll talk to you Monday on Hard Fork Day.